Hi everyone, this is Joe. He lives in Melbourne with his mum, dad, younger sister and older brother. Joel is 15 years old. From the age of 5, he has always shown an extreme passion for street dance, which is his movement subculture. He saw it as a way of expressing himself to the world. He attends school where he works very hard to get good grades. However, he does not enjoy it as he gets bullied from many of his peers. This results in a knock to Joe's confidence, and he looks at street dance as a way of representing and conveying his emotions, with a lot of support from his street dance group. A year and a half ago, however, Joe was in a serious accident where he was told that he may never be able to walk again. He was distraught and heartbroken. He felt like his freedom was taken away from him, and most importantly, he could not dance. Joel's life changed on February the 18th, 2016. He was provided with the opportunity by his family to have a prosthetic leg. His family had worked extremely hard, putting in many more hours of work than they would usually, so that they could support him. Joel comes from a much lower socio-economic background than most of his peers at school, and he moved around a lot as a child because his family could not afford to buy a house. He is now finally settled and loves his house, although it isn't as big or as modern as his school peers. Joel is extremely grateful for all of the support his family have given him, as he was not only blessed with his freedom back, but he was also blessed with the opportunity to dance again, thus being a facilitator in the engagement of Joel's movement subculture. So, that was an insight into the background of Joel's youth. I am now going to further explore Joel's life through the lens of French sociologist Pierre Bourdieu's theory, and understanding the curation of data embedded within Joel's Pinterest board, and the biases which may exist in the data that I have accumulated, with reference to literature. Joel is an agent of many fields. The most important ones to him, and the ones I am going to analyse, are his street dance field, his school field, and his family and home life field. So, by now, you're probably wondering what a field is, right? This is one of the terms advocated by Bourdieu, which is a setting in which agents and their social positions are located. A field is a network, structure, or set of relationships which may be intellectual, religious, educational, cultural, etc. Fields tend to be interrelated and overlap, and people often experience power differently depending on which field they are in. The way we are in a field is determined by our habitus, which leads me on to the second of Bourdieu's concepts. Habitus is a set of acquired dispositions, perceptions, and appreciations which orient our practices and give them meaning. So basically, habitus is a social process which helps shape the way we think, feel, and act in different contexts, as it is an embodied notion of beliefs, ideals, speech, actions, appearance, and so on. It is not fixed and can be changed over time. The third of Bourdieu's concepts is capital. This refers to the different forms of power held by agents within a field. Capital may take many forms. It may be symbolic, real, or imagined. It shapes different fields and can be manifest in economic capital, social capital, cultural capital, and many more. And finally, the last term endorsed by Bourdieu is doxa. Doxa relates to the unwritten rules of the field. It is the domain of common belief or popular opinion. So, after exploring these concepts endorsed by Bourdieu, I am now going to explore Joel's fields using these to come to a deeper understanding of Joel as an agent. So, the first of Joel's fields, and probably his most important and valued, is the street dance field. Within this field, Joel's habitus of motivation, self-expression, determination and respect are also portrayed as common beliefs and values with his street dance friends. These are influenced by his family upbringing, and he continues to exercise them within the street dance field. Joel's social practices as an agent within the street dance field are the result of various habitual schemas combined with various types of capital that he has acquired from his family and then reproduced. Within this field, Joel holds a high cultural capital, as he has acquired knowledge of the steps and routines used, he has grasped the lingo endorsed within this field, and he also holds an extreme appreciation for music involved in dance, and understands the importance of it. This may be because he has been a part of the street dance group since he was 5, and thus also has a deep understanding of the doxa of the field. That street dance is about representing yourself and portraying important messages and meanings through dance, while respecting everyone else. Street dance is about just getting your groove on, you know? You can just twerk your heart out and not get judged. However, after Joel's accident, as he could not dance, he felt that his power within the field decreased. As this was his most valued field with the most amount of symbolic capital, as he is respected and honoured, he felt lost. However, considering research, dance is a gateway to show off one's talent, strength, courage and resilience, often despite having a disability. Even so, when Joel received his prosthetic leg, his power within the field increased again. Although he was not able to dance as well as he could before, he could bring new things to the table. It has been argued that an injury can have a dramatic impact on a dancer's identity, with the fear of having to reinvent themselves. However, Joel's habitus enables him to continue to strive within this field, and he understands that dance is a means of recognising diversity and communicating our own humanity. Joel's social capital is also very high, as he has a lot of connections and relationships with other dancers and other groups within the dancing industry. Additionally, within this field, his disability is celebrated. Joel's aspirations are mainly derived from this field. He aspires to be like the Les twins and wants to achieve first place in the World of Dance competition. Joel tries to get himself recognised by consuming and producing his culture online, by video recording and posting the dance routines to social media. Joel gets a lot of support from people online. However, he also faces a lot of negativity and online bullying due to his prosthetic leg. This may be down to the fact that disability continues to carry a negative stigma attached. It tends to be the case that having a disability of any form is still not fashionable or not cool, and they may be categorised as inferior. This is not the case, however, as within street dance, due to the doxa of the field, Joel is categorised as unique. Street dance is a manifestation of people's rights regardless of their background, race, religion, gender, social-economic power and other obstacles. It instead represents the symbols and meanings of how social groups live and appreciates diversity. Every dancer and dance group want to make it to Worlds. It's pretty cool, you know. Usually the most diverse groups win it, and you're like, damn, I wish I had more people with different lives. So, now you have gained an insight into Joel's most important field, his street dance field, I am now going to explore the other two. The second of Joel's fields is his family field. Joel's habitus originated mainly from this. His actions and values were all originally developed through his family life, whilst also still discovering aspects of his own habitus, such as his image and appearance, which are derived from other fields such as street dance and school. Bourdieu established that one's habitus should reflect diversity and homogeneity. Thus, Joel's personal image has developed through the influence of other fields, representing self-expression. The way Joel thinks, reflects and reacts to certain situations and people is, however, the formation of family influence, education and experience which play key roles in the development of Joel's habitus. Within this field, Joel has a high cultural capital. He knows how to behave, how to interact and how to communicate. He understands what is valued within this field, such as respect. He also recognises that his behaviour differs from his street dance field to his family or his school field. Joel's economic capital is, however, limited. He does not have a lot of access to resources, and as a result, other fields are compromised. For example, as his family do not have sufficient funds to buy a car, he has to travel up to 2 hours on public transport to get to his street dance training, which may be very difficult. The ownership of social capital within a field, in this case his parents, may provide the use of economic capital. They have provided financial and emotional support for his prosthetic leg, however has had to compromise other material uses, such as a car, so that he can walk and dance again. Thus, his power within this field may be relatively low. As a consequence, he has had to make a compromise that he would show as much enthusiasm and commitment to his schoolwork as he does to dance. Joel, however, loves his family very much and feels very lucky for everything they have given him. Because of this, he deals with his parents' requests. So, this then leads me on to explore Joel's third field, his school field. When entering as an agent into this field, Joel's habitus differs from his school peers. This could be because he is from a much lower socio-economic background than many of his peers, which may affect his speech, actions and appearance in the sense that they are majorly different to his more affluent classmates. Joel also shows a lot of respect to his peers, whereas they do not show respect in return. They tend to bully Joel and often laugh at his prosthetic leg. They also refer to him as the poor kid who thinks he is going to get fun dancing with a disability. This could relate to the bigger picture, that disability is a social portal that tends to lead to exclusion from society at large. However, Joel's habitus of self-confidence, motivation and determination helps him get through this. Joel holds a lot of cultural capital within this field. This is because he knows himself that he has to work hard at school and achieve good grades, as he has already promised his parents in order to continue to participate as an agent within the street dance field. He also understands how to succeed within the school field and recognises that academics and intellect are what is valued. He knows how to behave at school, how to follow the rules or the doxa of this field, and recognises that he has to work hard even though he does not enjoy being an agent of the school field. He also believes that he needs a backup plan if his street dance career fails, as many of his teachers and peers iterate that he will not succeed within the dance industry. If you really want to achieve a career in dance, you just really have to stick with it. It's a hard industry with many knockbacks, but you just have to pick yourself back up and get on with it, you know? His economic capital also puts him at a disadvantage from his peers, as he cannot fund many of the resources required for him to succeed. Joel's power of social capital is also very limited, as he does not have many positive connections and relationships with peers, and is also very shy within the school field, so he doesn't get recognised or have positive relationships with teachers. So, that was an insight into all of Joel's fields through the lens of Bourdieu. It is evidence that all of these fields interact and overlap with one another, and also compromise for one another. Fields cannot work in isolation. There is also a distinctive power relation and struggle within all of the fields, and also within all of the different capitals. I am now going to finally explore some of the biases which have influenced the construction and development of my character. First of all, my biased judgments led me to the conclusion that all street dance artists are hip-hop dancers. However, this is varied and differentiated between cultures, as street dance within Brazil, for example, is more of a Latin-influenced dance. Additionally, there is a negative stereotype that street dance or hip-hop is extremely violent and represents anger amongst social groups. However, research has found that hip-hop is genuine and authentic, and it is just telling the truth on important issues and problems within society through dance. Through data collection, I have also found out that dance represents different cultures and backgrounds, where they all come together, collide and collaborate. Another bias which influenced the development of Joel was interference from a child that was in a class on one of my school experience placements as a student teacher. This child had a disability where he was continuously verbally and physically bullied. He looked at sport as a way of showing his courage and highlighting that his disability did not mean that he was inferior to his class peers. As mentioned earlier, the negative stigma still attached to disability is a factor in the way they are treated. Evidence supports that a substantial amount of people within the UK population believe that disabled people are less capable than non-disabled people, in need of care and dependent on others. My third bias in which developed my character is in relation to social class. This bias drew a conclusion that only people from lower socio-economic backgrounds faced obstacles in academic and social achievement. Although research has found that it is increasingly and more difficult for lower socio-economic members of society to get out of the vicious cycle due to lack of resources, difficult learning conditions and poor motivation, everyone is confronted with barriers to succeeding. Additionally, my prejudices led me to believe that individual speech and appearance determines their social status. Through research, there have been many studies to support this statement previously. However, it is not as predominant within the 21st century in an increasingly globalised and multicultural world. So, sadly, that's all for today on the life of Joel. I hope that I have deepened your understanding of the key concepts enforced by Bourdieu and understanding Joel as a social agent within multiple fields and the biases which I have constructed throughout the weeks on my Pinterest board. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.